Yo, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Collision Podcast. This is your go-to resource for practical tools, powerful testimonies, and biblical insight on sharing the gospel and making disciples. And I am one of the hosts, Bobby Peacock, and today we have the dual
dynamic duo.
Today we have the dynamic duo.
There we go. Hey, I'm Kat Jellen. So we just finished up our series on what is the gospel, where we talked about 6 different points. The first is salvation is a free gift. We talked about how we can't save ourselves. God is just. Jesus bridges the gap. Transfer our faith to Jesus, and then become a new creation. And those are all based on scriptures. You got to check out those episodes so you can learn more about the gospel. Today, we're bringing back a couple guests to share stories. We're going to make some space for them to tell their wildest gospel sharing stories, or coolest, or whatever.
All the above.
All the above. So we'll introduce them in a second. Bobby, do you want to just acknowledge the fact that we're all wearing glasses?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here, because usually I'm the only one that wears glasses on the podcast.
Peer pressure is going on.
Yeah, so I guess we just vibing with glasses today.
To be cool like Bobby.
Yeah. So
Let's focus up.
On the podcast today with us, we have Mr. Gordon.
Let's go.
One of my best friends. And we also have the wonderful CG, who is just an amazing person. High five right there.
Glory to God.
Wow.
Glory to God. Well, I called you my best friend, so I didn't know what to say.
Like,
amazing boss.
here she is.
Yeah.
My best boss.
My best boss ever.
Hard to like raise the bar there.
Yeah. And so for the new listeners, if you guys can just give us some like very basic information about who you guys are. Let's just start with that.
Awesome. All right, now I'm taking off my glasses.
All right,
I just want to join you for a little while.
Mine are so cool.
And your people.
Yours are very cool. So, my name is Gordon Stewart, and I'm from California and Wyoming, and been in Sioux Falls since 2008. Went to college in Sioux Falls and graduated with an education history degree. Went to teach in Pine Ridge. Started dating a girl in Sioux Falls. And so while I was out there, I ended up getting engaged to her, and we got married, moved out there together, and then we got pregnant while we were out there, married, and then we came back and have been in Sioux Falls since. That's just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. When you say you're from California and Wyoming, I think your Bible cover actually tells which one you're more from. This is like what is that, a Bronco? It's the Wyoming.
That is Jesus as a cowboy.
Okay.
Which
looks eerily similar to the Wyoming Bronco
totally
mascot.
Yeah. There's an undercover group of people in California called California Cowboys.
Oh.
Okay.
And so I had some of that elite group status.
That's very cool.
Strawberry farmers of California, shout out.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, they're cowboys.
How long have you been at Collision, Gordon?
I've been with Collision since 2015, volunteering 2018, part-time, full-time 2020, and running hard
Ever
since then.
Yeah.
But I was running hard as a volunteer too.
Yeah.
So for 2015 to now.
Running and skating hard and painting.
Yes.
All the things.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Hobbies.
All the things.
I do have a lot of hobbies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Nice.
CG. So tell us a little bit about you as well.
So I didn't grow up in the church, kind of came to know the Lord in my very early 20s, and got to be a part of Collision because I was looking for a part-time job. Was doing photography full-time, and the winters are slow because we live in South Dakota. And so every winter I would just do some kind of part-time, like 10, 15 hours a week. And a friend who was working at Collision at the time reached out and said, hey, we're looking for somebody part-time at Collision. And I was like, I had just started volunteering also with Collision, and I was like, oh my goodness, that would be amazing. So I started part-time, and then that was in 2019, and then I've been full-time. I think it was like a year later, came on full-time, and absolutely love my job. I'm the Chief Operations Officer now for Collision, and I love it.
It's crazy that you started in 2019, which is the same year I started, but my impression of you is like that you had been here light years before I had because you interviewed me. Do you recall that?
I do recall. I remember I had only been working maybe like 3 months with Collision.
Yeah.
And John's like, I need you to go and meet this.
Because he was on the bike trail.
Yeah, he was on the bike trail. He's
Running
like,
late.
I'm supposed to be meeting with her.
Riding
Can
his
you
bike.
meet her? And I'm just like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. But yes, I will go meet this lady. And I told him after that meeting, I was like, you have to hire her. She's amazing. Like, and he did. Praise God.
Thanks, CG, for the good word.
What did they originally hire you for?
Office manager.
That's right.
Yeah, we were all hired for different things.
We do officially have an HR process now.
Yeah, we do.
Very good.
Very good.
Really
We
good.
actually literally believe we have the best interview process in the nation.
It's
Let's
awesome.
Let's
Wow, I like
go. So, can you guys like briefly share just a little bit of your guys' like testimonies? Like maybe like let's do like the 2-minute version of your testimony. You think you can knock it out?
Yeah,
in
I can
2
do that.
minutes?
Yeah. So Kyle Richards came out of my bathroom in college, senior year. He had been using it because I had the AC. And
Wait, hold on a second.
he was in the freshman dorm as an RA.
Okay.
I was in the senior like AC
Nice.
Gotcha.
dorm.
Yeah.
Don't know where that went in your brain, but it's fine.
No.
And so anyways, he comes out of my bathroom and I had been on a journey. I didn't grow up in the church either and had no religion, didn't even know what the cross was when I went to USF. And so I was on a journey that senior year. And when he came out of the bathroom, I had this thought that was, this guy's a Christian. Tell him everything. Ask him anything you want to know and he'll tell you. And I was like, whoa, that was weird. And so I was like, hey, Kyle, can I like tell you what's going on in my life?
Yeah.
Which was a big thing for me to say. I had never really told someone my life story, and I was 21 at that point. And so he goes, yeah. And so I shared with him all my problems, and he go, his first thing was like, Gordon, you know what grace is though, right? And I was like, come Lord Jesus, be our guest. Let this meal dust be blessed. Amen. And he was like, nope, that's not what I'm talking about. And I was like, man, I have no idea what that word means.
Yeah.
And so he went on to explain God's mercy, all about Jesus, and that should have been me on the cross, and that I deserved, death and punishment and all this gnarly stuff, and yet in God's mercy is that He spared me from that.
Yeah.
And the wrath of God went on Jesus and not me. And then he went on to say, like, God's grace is a free gift of being a new creation, being His help.
Yeah.
And then he was like talking about eternity, which at that point I had never thought about eternal things. I'd never thought about afterlife. And so that was like, well, that's cool, but I really need life change now. Like, sweet that there's like this like long-term win.
Yeah.
But I definitely did not say yes to Jesus because of the future. I needed someone to save me today because I was on the road to death. I was drinking and driving and doing all sorts of wild stuff, and I needed like quick solutions.
Yeah.
And not to say that Jesus is a quick solution, but His grace is free.
Yeah.
And it's a free gift. And so you don't have to earn it. So that was a huge, like, brain-blowing thing, mind-blowing thing.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of me following Jesus.
Let's go.
Amen.
Come on now.
Yeah, thank you, God.
I have to go back to this. So he was in your bathroom just because he wanted to be in the AC.
Taking
Just
a number
wanted to
2.
Enjoy. Yeah. Sorry, man, if you're out there.
No, he knows this. I've shouted him out a number of times, thanked him, and he knows what he was doing in there, and it was a consistent thing, and it was fine.
That's wild. That's awesome. Thankful for the AC unit in your bathroom.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Changed your life.
Yes.
So I also did not grow up in the church. When I was younger, like, my grandma went to church, and so I would go to church with her when I would stay with her every once in a while. And she taught me the Lord's Prayer, but just grew up not believing. And all through, like, middle school, high school, struggled with drinking and drugs and depression, anxiety, all of the things. And Ended up in college, got pregnant with my daughter. Praise God with my now husband. But we'd only been dating for like 4 months, and our beginning of our relationship was really rough. And so just not in a good place in my life. And then we were on the verge of divorce. My daughter was about 2, and we kind of had this like moment where we were like, okay, we are going to start afresh. Like, we're just going to, from this moment, we're going to forget all the past stuff that's happened, and we're going to move forward and kind of work on our marriage. And a couple weeks later, this guy that I went to high school with called me and said, hey, I have this career opportunity. And I was like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so he's like, I'd love for you and your husband to come check it out. And so I was just like, okay, I'll let you know. So I'm telling my husband about it, and he's like, well, let's go check it out. Like, what's the worst that it could be? Because I was selling vacuum cleaners door to door at this time. So we go.
Love that.
Love that. So we go, and it ends up being Amway or Quickstar or whatever. I was kind of like, this is whatever. Mark was all about the business part of it. Like, he's an entrepreneur. That's like him. But the people were so nice. Like, some of the nicest people we'd ever met, and all of our friends currently were not really supportive of us and our marriage. I mean, they just wanted to drink all the time and do all this stuff. And so we didn't have a lot of support. So these people were like really supportive of us just as a couple. And so come to find out they were Christians. So we were like, oh, yeah, we're not about that. Like, we were very upfront with them. Like, that's really cool for you. It's not for us. And they still loved us and just were like, yeah, that's whatever. So then we got invited down to Nashville for a conference. And on Sunday, they do like a Sunday morning worship at this huge auditorium, thousands of people there. And they're like, you guys have to come. And we're like, nope, we're good. And they're like, you guys, please. Like, they just kept persisting that we come to this. And finally we gave in, and we're like, okay, we will come to this thing. And the guy shared the gospel, and I just like lost it, like broke down, and was like, this is what I've been missing my whole life. Like, I need Jesus. I was like one of the first people up there, and literally changed my life. Like, completely stopped drinking, got off my antidepressants, all this stuff. Like, I was a new creation, like we talked about. So.
Let's
amazing.
go.
Yeah, let's
Thank
go.
you, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you guys want to hear more of CG's testimony and also her husband Marcus's testimony, if they go back to, what episode did we have CG on?
CG, you were episode 4.
Yep.
Salvation is a free gift.
And then Marcus
Marcus was We Can't Save Ourselves, episode 5.
Yeah.
And then you're on episode 9, Becoming a New Creation. So if you want to hear Gordon's story, go to episode 9.
There you go.
Let's
So
go.
More in depth.
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for sharing, like a little
Yeah.
bit of your guys'
Rehashing.
rehashing a little bit of your stories. Like today we're just talking about like sharing the gospel and stories of sharing the gospel. And like, do you guys remember like your first time ever like sharing the gospel?
Man,
Like, was it awkward? Was it nerve-wracking? Like,
I remember.
I do. I prepped.
Yeah, you go.
yeah.
I was on a podcast once, and I did not prep, and it did not get published. So I did prep this time.
Yeah,
Lord,
let's
help
go.
it be published. So I was in Pine Ridge.
It's a reservation in South Dakota.
Yes. And I was at a youth center, and I had just purchased through probably a donation. I don't think it was with my own monies. Yeah, it was through a free will donation through 777 skateboards and others. But I just put together like 30 decks.
Yeah.
And had all the kids, all the youth putting together the skateboards themselves. And then I was standing in front of this TV, and I was like, all right, guys, let's talk. So your guys' creation story is you're birthed out of a wind cave in Black Hills. And I want to talk to you about Jesus also being birthed out of a womb, out of a virgin, Mary. And I want to talk to you about like the real great high chief that is a real tribal man. And went on from there. I did get some harsh feedback at the end of that gospel presentation, which I did, give a clear invitation to respond. And that outcome was really cool as far as, 30 plus kiddos starting to follow Jesus in some way.
Awesome.
But the feedback was from the youth center director. She pulled me aside. She was like, hey, you cannot just flippantly talk about wombs and people being birthed out of things. And I was like, this is the history. This is this is what you guys say. And this is real for Christianity as well.
Yeah.
This is the real thing. And so we'll get into the 3 circles in this episode, which I'm excited about. I really like going with the 3 circles. Instead of trying to
go from
freestyle
from the womb.
Contextualizing, which works sometimes.
Contextualizing can work. I saw it work. I think that it's one way.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
honestly cannot remember the first time I shared. I know it was using the 3 circles because I remember after I was saved, I wanted everybody to know this, but I didn't know how to share it. It was just all I could do was be Jesus changed my life, and this is how I was and this is who I am, which was great, but it wasn't actually giving anybody what does that mean or how did that happen? So I remember always having this I want to share, but I don't know how, and I don't know what that practically looks like. And so I would do things I would pray for people, can I pray for you? And, I would try to that way, plant seeds or whatever, but I'm feel horrible. I can't remember my first time, but I guarantee you it was when I started working for Collision. We started using the 3 circles.
Yeah.
And then we went out in the streets and we're all right, we're going to go talk to people. And I do remember when I first started doing the 3 circles that sometimes I would come back and be I totally missed a whole part of that. I need to really watch this video a lot because I did not, because I
missed the Jesus
get so
part.
scared. Yeah, I forgot about Jesus. No, I'd get so scared and nervous, just talking to a stranger that I'm it's a thing. So I literally watched the 3 circle video over and over and over and over again until I had it almost word for word because I wanted to be confident.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. Repetition right there.
Yeah.
What about you, Kat?
That's funny. I was just thinking about this and I was I thought when I was in middle school, I thought I was sharing the gospel. You want to know what I was really doing? I remember the first time I, quote, shared the gospel was I stole the pencil off of the kid's desk behind me. His name was Nick.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come from me. And I didn't give it back. I was like, Nick, I will give you your pencil back when you promise me you're going to go to church on Sunday. That was my outreach strategy in middle school. And I was I'm making a difference. One pencil at a time.
That's crazy.
I really wish, looking back at my middle and high school career, I wish that I had had something like Collision equip me and actually how to have gospel conversations and be loving in what I was doing and not just you need to do this or else.
Yeah.
How about you, Bobby?
Yeah. For me, it was actually 5th grade.
Wow.
Sending back to 5th grade.
That's when you got your tattoo.
No.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll explain that though. Yeah, so 5th grade, so y'all know that I grew up in the foster system, and at that time I was going through a failed adoption, so I had to stay in emergency care, and I had to stay with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Whoa.
Yeah, and so I'm over here.
I like where this is going.
I was and they wouldn't let me because that part of my life I was Catholic. And there was a priest called Father Stan who was a hip hop artist, and at that time I liked his music. Looking back, I'm that was but anyways, so I was trying to share the gospel with this young man of just talking to him about basically Jesus and just saying like he died. Do you know Jesus? Like, do you know that he died for our sins, kind of thing? And like me in my 5th grade language, that's what I was doing. But fast forward in high school, we had a teacher, Mr. Chase, who we had a class called, I think it was discipleship or evangelism. I don't remember, because I went to a Christian school here in Sioux Falls Christian. And he gave us a gospel tool that is now like tatted on my arm. And like we would go out to the mall and we would go and share the gospel and have gospel conversations in high school. And so I think I was like a sophomore or junior when I started doing that. And then like my senior year, I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo when I graduate high school. And so my first tattoo was the gospel tool that I use, which is not 3 circles, but the 3 circles is amazing. So
awesome.
Yeah. If I would have known about the 3 circles, I would have been like, it wouldn't have took up my whole arm.
Where's your 3 circles tattoo, Bobby? Come on.
I know. I thought about getting a palm tattoo and putting the 3 circles on my palm.
It would last a couple of years, maybe.
Just like point.
Yeah.
So what circle are you into?
That'd be sweet.
But it doesn't
It
last
probably
that
wouldn't
long.
last that long.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Very cool.
So you mentioned 3 circles and having maybe some stories relating to you switching strategies or tactics to the 3 circles. You want to share any of those?
Yeah, well, having 3 circles on back of my phone has been super helpful. But I mean, I can recall, park down by my house and just doing chalk, and I'd have my kids with me, and I would just write out the 3 circles. It's just in this huge, on the floor, and have 20-ish, kiddos around me, and just asking them, the unique part about sharing the gospel and then asking for a response. When you're doing it with a group, is like, okay, I need to know every single one of your names, because I actually want to know, like, Desmond, like, which circle do you see yourself in? And you go, like literally, like, youth by youth, or, person by person. And so that's what I have, that is a full story, but that's what's been fun about the 3 circles and growing to be able to share the gospel, is being able to, it's a conversation where, it's less than 3 minutes on sharing the gospel. And then it's a longer conversation of like, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? What's stopping you? And I've just seen God do some really cool things through my, efforts, but I mean, through hundreds of students that I've seen do it themselves. So
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
I remember seeing a picture of you. I think it was that chalk park picture. You had crazy long hair back then. One of the many phases of Gordon.
Had my shirt off, because that was just like my own free time. That was just with my kids. That wasn't work related. That was, I'm taking this opportunity. I'm shooting my shot.
Yeah, that's dope.
Cool. That's cool. Anytime, any place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chalk or not.
Yep.
What about you, CG?
I remember one time we were taking some kids on a prayer walk downtown by kind of like downtown central area. And so we were just, walking in the neighborhoods, and we come across some kids that were outside in their yard. And we were like, hey guys, how you doing? And they were super talkative, really sweet kids. Probably the one boy must have been, maybe like a freshman in high school, freshman, sophomore. And then a couple girls that were like middle school age. And so I was like, hey guys, can I share something with you? Have you ever heard of the 3 circles? And they're like, no. And so anyway, I share it. And I remember, like, to this day, this one sticks out to me so much, because I'm just like, the girls were like very intrigued. And I was like, what circle do you see yourself in? And they said brokenness. And I said, well, where do you want to be? And they were kind of like, well, I don't know, but I'd like, maybe this one. And so I was like, awesome. I'd love to talk with you more about that. And then the boy, I asked him where he saw himself. He's like, in brokenness. And I was like, where do you want to be? He's like, oh, I'm staying in my brokenness. I was like, he goes, I love fast cars, and I love drinking, and I just love it. And I was just like, wow.
My man.
Okay. And there's like kids with me because I'm modeling for them how to do this. And I'm just like, well, I will be praying for you. But I was literally like, I've never had a response like that of somebody who's just like, I love sin. Yeah. I'm going to keep living in sin. And so like in the moment, I was just like, I don't know how to react to you right now, but I'm going to be praying for you. But I was like, well, at least he was honest, but yeah, that was probably the craziest response I'd ever had to that. Because I would say 99% of the time when I share the 3 circles, if people are in brokenness, they want to change.
Yeah.
Like nobody's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to stay right here. My life's great. Mm-hmm. That was the only one I ever had. And I was just like, that was crazy.
Like, I'm not sure how to respond right now.
Yeah. So, and that's something that we do teach the kids is like, you're not going to, I wasn't going to sit there and argue with him and be like, no, you really should change. Right. Mm-hmm. Like if his heart's not there, he's not ready. And I'm not going to
God needs to bring him
God
to
needs
humility
to work. So
and
I was just
the
like
end of
telling
himself.
the kids, we need to pray for him.
Yeah.
That's God's got to work on his heart because we can't change him.
Yeah.
So.
And you hear like so many stories of like people that have like lived their life in brokenness, and they've tried to explore like many different things, and like nothing is working, and they're at their end of the rope, and then like God comes in and be like, what's up? What's going on? Talk to me. And then it's like, they're like, oh. So sometimes for some people it takes
deathbed stories,
a huge reality check, to come to know the Lord, which is like, sometimes as humans we can be stubborn. So
for sure.
For sure. What would you guys say are like some like meaningful gospel conversations that you've had with people that have like just rocked you?
All right. So I have one from Juvenile Detention Center.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or I have one from Walking the Streets.
Choose
Which
your
one do you
journey.
Want? All right.
We're at a fork in the road, so I picked both.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't we share them both?
You said like Man on the Street versus JDC.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the options.
Yeah. All right. We'll do JDC, and then we'll do the
streets. I'm glad we're gonna do both.
All right. Here we go. So Juvenile Detention Center, been going there for 4 or 5 years, and it's been getting increasingly exciting because as I build relationship with JDC, they will give me like their hardest students.
Wow.
And they give me one-on-one time with them. So I can't name any names, but I first met this one youth in a containment room. He was handcuffed ankles to feet and yet just super chill. And wasn't he was young. He's a young kid, he's young. But they're like, okay, here's the emergency button, and if anything happens, you need to press this. And they let me be one-on-one. And so within the first couple minutes of them leaving, he's hands free.
What?
And I was like, wow, this is legit. And I just keep on going. I keep talking, and he wanted to learn more about God.
Wow.
That was what he had requested, and that's why they gave me opportunity to talk to him. And so, long story short, nothing scary happened.
Yeah,
he did have a little bit intimidating laughs when I commented on like, hey, I see your hands are free.
Yeah.
Was it like maniacal?
It was a little bit. It was a little bit. And so, but I just, you just try to stay calm and stay focused and trust God, to protect you. And that youth is still there to this day. This is year later. And he leads one of the disciple making groups.
Awesome.
Has the 3/3 memorized.
Yeah.
And he's been
forward, up, back.
Looking back, looking up, looking forward. Knows all the questions.
Yeah.
And he's been baptized.
Let's go.
And he's just one of about a handful that have completely given their life to Jesus, been baptized. I had the honor of doing that. I asked parents permission to do that, and they don't have any connection to a church, so if any church is watching, we do want youth to be baptized within the church, in the unique circumstances of a youth who I might never see again, who wants to be baptized, sees the scripture, sees what's possible, and they don't know their future. They ask, and I grant that request with family permission. And so there's that.
Wow.
Any questions before I keep going?
No, I just like hearing that story, like, cause like, like that like hits me, because like growing up in the foster system, like I've seen many people in that circumstance where like, whether it's just like, like they're just going down a path of just brokenness, and then like we talked about earlier, it's just so cool to see people come to the end of the rope and say, okay, I need help. I need someone like that is out of this world to come and save me. Like, it's so beautiful. So
So I'm glad I'm glad I started with that one, because the next one I will shout out Jason, because
Who dat?
that's my man on the streets.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
So Jason lives in a Mari Car community. Been doing ministry there for a number of years, and got to know Jason through door knocking and praying with him. And one time after like doing the 3 circles, and he's just like, I'm in brokenness and I'm good. And I was like, well, here's the deal. Like, will you just come with me and just be a blessing to your neighborhood? Like, I'm not asking you to believe in Jesus to be a blessing. Like, will you just come with me and come see how God is moving all around you, and how you can participate in that, whether you believe or don't believe. We'll worry, we can work on that or not. And so he walked with me that day. And I think he's walked with me a couple of times total, but that day was really special, because we walked a long ways around this neighborhood, and I just getting to know him more. And I knew him pretty well. We'd read the Bible, we'd done different things and tried to, but in this walk, I was just like, tell me, like, what do you believe spiritually, and just candidly. And so he starts talking to me about all these Netflix things, about Satan being the brother of, and Mary being the wife of, and all these things that I was like, whoa, this is wild theology. I mean, it was just everything that he said could not have been more wrong. All love, Jason. All love. And I told that to your face. But what I learned in that walk is how much we might need to unlearn to be ready to receive the pure gospel, the right gospel. I think God can do like supernatural work in the midst of someone, maybe they don't unlearn everything. And God can still, I do totally believe God, that is the majority of us, is that we don't have to go through a process of unlearning everything. But I was like, wow, there is, for me, when I started following Jesus, I didn't have, I would say I was very much a blank slate. I didn't have like false beliefs. I was just like completely broken and had no idea how to like fix myself. So there's the story. To this day, I still text Jason, and I still drop 3 circles to him every I don't know, 4 months, and still try. And so that's the story.
That's awesome.
That's a cool one.
Dope.
I think one of my favorite, like, meaningful ones, there was a student, we were having a collision lunches. This was quite a few years ago. And I was just helping out at the lunch. I don't typically go there, but I can't remember, one of the staff was gone. And so I was just like, yeah, I'll go fill in for you. And there was this girl that was like in the hall, just, I mean, you could see the darkness and depression just like on her, so thick, and her head was down, and I was just like, hey, we would love for you to come, and she was kind of like, who are you? Like, right? I'm just like, hey, I'm some stranger inviting you to this thing. And I was like, this is Collision. And she like reluctantly came in, and then she just kind of sat there, didn't say anything, was just, very quiet. And then like at the end, I was like, I'm so glad that you came. And she was like, do you guys do this every week? And I said, yeah. And she goes, can I come again? And I was like, absolutely. Like, we would love for you to come in. So then I was like, I'm coming again because I just want to like be a familiar face that she knows. So I started coming, and she was so depressed. And like the next week, I didn't see her. And I'm like out in the hall, like looking for her, right? Like, oh, where is she? Didn't see her. So I was like, well, I'll go one more week. Cause I like felt like the Lord was like, just go one more time. So I was like, okay, I'll go one more week. And then that week, didn't really see her again. And then for some reason I felt like the Lord was like, look outside again. And so I literally went out in the hallway, and she was sitting in the hallway, like on the floor with her head like down in her knees. Wow. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I went over, and I just put my arm around her, and I was like, are you okay? And she was just like, no. She's like, I don't even know why I'm alive. I have no purpose. I have no meaning. And I was like, oh, honey. So I'm just trying to comfort her because she's bawling at this point. And, we're in a school, so I can't share the gospel with her, right? Like as an adult, I'm just like, oh. And at this point, there weren't really students that had been trained enough to like where I felt confident that they could come out and explain it. So I'm just like, Lord, what do I do? And so I'm just silently listening to her. She's just sharing all of the stuff that's going on with her family, and she's, like ready to end her life. And I'm like, we need you to go talk to the counselor. And she's like, yeah, I've been to the counselor. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to share this with the counselor, just so you know. And she's like, yeah. So then I, as adults in the school, we can't ask for students' numbers. We can't do anything, right? Like, we're just there as like, hey, how's it going? And bring in pizza and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, just wait here. So I went to try to find a student that I'm like, hey, this girl, can somebody get her number, get some contact information so we can talk to her outside of school. Yeah. So we did, I went and talked to the principal and kind of like, hey, here's what's going on. They're like, yeah, we know she's been struggling for a while. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, we were able to contact her then outside of school and share the gospel with her. And she was so open and started discipling her, which she had no background, kind of same thing. Yeah. So many questions, just like every week. She's like, what about this and this and this? And like we'd read, she's like, I've been reading my Bible and it's awesome, but now I have these questions. And I'm just like, wow, she is hungry. So it was going really great. Like me and this other girl were discipling her, together. And then, I told her, I was like, I would love to meet your family. Like, I think this is weird that, we're kind of doing this because it was on Zoom. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, you can, I live with my grandma or whatever. I'm like, great, I would love to meet your grandma. So kind of like talk to her grandma. And she was open. She's like, she's definitely changed. So whatever you guys are doing is great, whatever. And I was like, great, awesome. And then all of a sudden, she's like, I'm moving, and my grandma says I can't do this stuff anymore. And I was like, and I haven't talked to her since. She just I've tried texting her and just like, how have you been? Like, how was your move? Nothing. And so that was really sad. Like, it was so good, but I just know that the Lord worked and is going to continue to work in her life because she was so hungry and she was seeking. And so I just prayed that, like, God, bring more people. Yeah. Wherever she's moved to, like, just bring the people that are going to, like, pour into her because she was hungry. And it was awesome. Yeah. So,
So good. I have a couple questions, kind of like an intermission before we hop into more stories. Mm-hmm. So obviously you guys work in full-time ministry, but sharing the gospel is like a way of life for you that goes beyond your quote work hours. Mm-hmm. My first question is just out of curiosity, like if you had to give a rough estimate of the number of times you've shared the gospel in your life, what would you say?
Oh man.
I know this question was not on the prep document.
And that's not to groups. So it'd be like if one group is 30
Oh.
So
kids.
like how many people you're saying? Like,
It could be people. Well, I would say just like the
How
times
many
you
times? Yeah.
shared the gospel from your mouth, whether or not the group was 30 people, 100, or 1.
so many times.
I've been following Jesus since 2011. And maybe once a month. Something like that.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I could give a number, but quite a few. I mean, I feel like less now that I'm in the role that I'm in because I'm not out
During the
training
day.
and doing things, but I
Right.
still am doing it like personally.
Yeah.
Probably similarly like once a month, but before that, I mean, it was
Like
a
tens of
lot.
times, hundreds of times, you'd say.
Oh, hundreds. of
Hundreds.
times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's leading into
Maybe
my...
like 150 times.
Wow,
Let's go
okay.
with that.
That's a lot of times. So, like, for people listening who may feel like they're still in that spot where they're like, I'm so nervous to share the gospel. It seriously brings me so much anxiety. Like, it's such a big like build up to be able to get myself to do that. How do you guys? What would be your advice for how to move from that like state of being to being able to do what you're doing, where you're like, it's just a natural rhythm of your life?
You want to go first, or you want me to?
You better go first.
Okay. I think for me, like I said, I was so nervous when I first did it. Honestly, if it wasn't for Collision, I don't know if I would have kept doing it, honestly, because it was so scary. I'm not an extroverted person. So what I would say is just do it, because the more you do it, the more it just is natural. Like you become more comfortable. It's just like anything that you do the first time, it's awkward and it's probably hard because you're not used to doing it. But then once you start to do it more, it's just like, oh yeah, this is easy. I think for me, I always overcomplicated it, thinking like I have to have some great transition question or a transition into the gospel. And I've watched enough like DMM stuff that I was like, it's really as simple as just asking somebody, have you ever heard of the 3 circles? That is literally all I do.
Yeah.
I don't overcomplicate it. I'm not like, okay, we just talked about this, so now I have to have some like grab you hook question.
Yeah.
It's literally not that. I can go up to a stranger, introduce myself, ask them their name, and then be like, have you ever heard of the 3 circles? Like, it's that simple.
works.
It works.
It actually
works
works.
every time.
You
And, yeah.
use the phrase DMM, like what is that?
Disciple making movements. So that is where we got a lot of our content from. Is so John had got training in that, John and Angie, when they went to Ukraine, and kind of brought that back. And so,
Cool.
yeah, a lot of people in the world use 3 circles.
Disciple making movements.
Disciple making movements.
Gordon, what have you got for us?
All right, I got a screenshot here. I said I prepped for this, so that's what I do right there. I
Honestly.
just
Yeah.
send people the 3
3
circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
So
hard.
I literally, if I don't know where they're at spiritually, maybe you know someone that you think they go to church, but you don't know what church they go to. Or they're a coworker and you've just never talked about spiritual things. There, no easier way than if you have their number, just start a conversation. Hey, will you check out this video? And that text, he watches that video. He basically just said, yeah, that one kid who talked about big lies or little lies that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Hard lying, or what was it?
Like, is it hard lying or?
I can't remember.
And she's like, either.
Yeah.
What is it? What constitutes sin or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so he responded just by saying that was funny.
Yeah.
I said, glad you think that's funny. Now I actually want to ask you, like,
Yeah.
there's 2 types of people in the world. Like, where do you see yourself? And and he somewhat responded.
Yeah.
And now we're in a Bible study.
Yeah.
And we're growing. In the first Bible study, he was like, "How do we even know that the Bible is valid?" Like that's his first question, in this Bible study, which is so legit, right? Where he's in his first Bible study, and he's wondering like, "How do we even know what we're reading?"
It's true.
Yeah. So it was great. It was a great start.
Mm-hmm.
My advice is, if to start, you don't even have to verbally say anything.
Yeah.
Just let others who recorded this video share it. And I would encourage you to do this one and not a 59-minute Billy Graham.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
And not, John MacArthur's gospel or John Piper's gospel or Steve Furtick or Upper Room or Francis Chan. Like, shout out to all those men, but people don't want to hear a 59-minute gospel presentation.
Yeah.
They want to think for themselves about where they're at. And so the 3 circles video is a quick way for the conversation to start.
We can link that here or in the description.
And I tell
somewhere.
students that all the time because they're like, I don't know if I'm ready to share. And it's like, great, just pull out you have your phone with you all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of a game changer.
Yeah. I'm like,
That
all
we
you
can do
need
that
to do
anytime,
is be like, have
with
you
anyone,
ever heard of the 3
anywhere.
circles? Nope. Can I share it with you? Pull out your phone.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So speaking of pulling out your phone, did y'all know that 80%, I'm talking to y'all.
Y'all.
The
as I'm-
listeners.
the listeners here. Did y'all know that 83% of y'all are not subscribed?
What?
So whatever platform you're on, subscribe, like, follow the podcast, our channel. And leave a comment down below, like interact with us. We want to hear from y'all. And this is the first time in the podcast history that I was able to do that whole thing without being interrupted.
Wow.
Wow. I wonder why.
I wonder.
Is it because the goat's not here?
Yeah, maybe. Oh.
There he is.
There he is. Is there Aaron Greenberg? He's off in the world gallivanting somewhere, right?
Somewhere. Yeah. So
Awesome.
jumping back into some gospel sharing stories. I know you prepared for specific questions, and this question is sort of on there, but I'm going to change the wording a little bit.
Oh, snap.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Have you ever had an experience sharing the gospel where you were just straight up completely rejected? And what did you learn from that?
Yeah.
Love those stories, actually.
Yeah.
So
Love those.
I think that's so. I'll do a recent time and then a while ago.
Okay.
All right. So a recent time, I was watching a sports event, and 2 guys sitting right next to me. We get to talking. I think that was a Wolves game, and they were getting crushed. And so it was like, we got to talk about something, because this like no one wants to be here.
Yeah.
So it was a great time for us just to vibe. And so they're asking me what I do. I'm sharing what I do, and I was with a friend of mine, Anders, and so I asked what they do. They didn't share much, and it, like, all of a sudden the conversation starts getting to like what I do. Like, tell us more about what you do.
Yeah.
And so I share the gospel, and ask them where they're at, and one guy responded positive, and the other guy, you could just tell he was slow to respond to anything. And it's a simple story, really, because it ends with just like this one guy was like, "Hey, I'll join that Bible study that you talked about. Like, can I have your number?" And then the other guy is just like,
Yeah.
like, just like just not having any of it. So, I mean, that's that simple.
Yeah.
And then the other one, similar to what CG shared earlier, which was I was in Mari Car again, and
It's a community center or neighborhood.
it's not officially on the map. It's called Mari Car Community Center, but there's multiple neighborhoods within it. For our frame of reference, and I found out we're one of the largest drug leaders was living, and I was like, definitely going there.
Yeah.
So
To knock on his door.
yeah, so knock on his door. So
Gospel's for
shout out
everyone.
to Josh, who was the former leading drug. I don't even know what you call them, but he was like the dude.
The king.
Josh,
Drug king. Yeah.
and Josh is born again, goes to an awesome church in Sioux Falls, and so he's like going on these prayer walks with me, and he's like, "Hey, here's the up and coming ones," and so we go to this house, and I knock, and this younger man, 20s, answers the door, and I just get straight to it because I knew it was him, and you know, where do you see yourself? And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm in brokenness." And I go, you know, like, where do you want to be? And he goes, "Yeah, I'm good. Have you seen my car? Have you seen my my lifestyle? Like, I have all that I need."
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I get that's where you see yourself right now. Been there, done that. If that ends up running you the wrong direction and you want help, like, here's my number, and so that was that, and I would follow up, you know, multiple times. Be careful with that. So I have followed up multiple times over the years to knock on his door. He does not respond.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's chill, you know, like I mean, probably at the beginning of that story, you're like, what's going to happen? And it's very chill.
Yeah.
It's
The rejection. you're
the
saying.
rejection. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, whatever was starting to come in your imagination of like, this is going to be a worst case.
Stink.
This is
Get
going to be a
out
worst
of
case
my
scenario.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
I will say, I'll share with the scariest one for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Go there.
Yeah. The
Also,
scariest-
it's drug lord, not drug king.
Oh, I said kingpin.
The scariest time for me,
Yeah.
I was in that same neighborhood and sharing the gospel with this woman who seriously, like, one of the, like, this is off script. See that? So
She had something going on.
Yes, thank you. But we were going in, and all of a sudden, I kid you not, a car. I just feel this car coming out of nowhere, and literally from like 50 to 0,
Yeah.
like about runs me over
Yeah.
and parks right behind me, like skid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, yeah, because I'm on the ground. I'm actually on the ground, and she's in a chair right here. And just I can't explain the whole way that house and that whole setup happened, but I'm like on the street,
Yeah.
and he gets out, and he's like, "What are you doing? I have you on camera.
Oh, yeah. I know this house. Yes.
What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was just like, you know, and I had a youth with me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And so, like, I'm trying to, like, thankfully she was not in harm's way,
Yeah.
but she, you know, she was like still kind of close. But like, I'm trying to get over the fact that I almost, like, I know that he didn't. I think he just tried to scare me. I don't think he was like
Really trying to run you over.
right. But I
Yeah.
mean, it was that close where it did scare me. Anyways, I did my best to de-escalate and successfully did.
Yeah.
And got his number, shared the love of God with him, shared the 3 circles with him.
Yeah.
And that relationship never went towards discipleship,
Yeah.
which is what I want everyone to go towards.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
it did de-escalate, thankfully,
Yeah.
within 5 minutes of just like, here's my intentions, here's what I'm doing. And, you know, that was it.
Yeah.
Quick question on that before you share your crazy stories of rejection. For those listening who might be taking youth out for prayer walks or gospel sharing, what tools or advice can you give them for situations like that, which are far and few between, but for situations that call for de-escalation, what would you say?
I would say have, if you can, 2 adults per group, and have a so I mean, I think when I've gone in like now, since that's happened, so when I go to those places, I tell the youth, like, hey, this is this sort of neighborhood, this could happen. And so, like, do you want to do that?
And their parents are aware as well.
Their parents are aware that they're going to harder places in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So yes. And as far as you actually want like de-escalation tips, or just, was that enough?
I think I was good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just like making sure there's multiple people with you. That
Yeah.
you're never just like,
It's
Yeah.
like
Never
a big,
alone.
Yeah.
Well-
I mean, I was doing a prayer walk in an apartment complex once, and you know, heard some screaming, and just like, girls were leaving,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
yeah.
So you don't like stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like youth safety,
yeah,
you're like,
when you
we're
have
Yeah.
youth with you, obviously.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
you gotta.
Yeah, we're
dip
gonna-
out. If it's
Yeah.
just you,
Yep.
you're like, okay, I might try to engage.
I'm not surprised that I'm hearing screaming. If it's just me and I'm like
Yeah.
in an apartment complex, like
Yeah.
if I'm hearing screaming, like that's
gonna go
why
to-
I'm here.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the door I'm going to.
That's
Yeah.
the door I'm actually going to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do that with youth.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we do that, it's like we try to stay in open areas where, you know, you're not like in a dark alley talking to people,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
hey, we're
You're
on,
taking precautions.
yeah, we're in a
Yeah.
park.
Place.
We're like where there's a lot of people around
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We have a clean track record by the grace of God. No
Yes.
incidents with
Yes.
collision.
No.
So
No.
we take
Praise
it.
the Lord.
We take it very serious.
Yeah. And,
and
safety very serious. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
CG.
So I think this is one of the areas that I think a lot of our youth, why they're scared is, I'm going to get rejected and it's going to be this horrible experience and
Soul
so
crushing.
yeah, and like, oh my goodness. And so I just will ask them when we're doing training before, if we're going to go out and, you know, prayer walk or practice, I'm like, what do you guys like, worst case scenario? What could happen to you that you are just so petrified of right now?
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, what if people yell at us? I had one kid say, well, what if someone spit in my face? And I'm like, what if they did?
Yeah.
Like, what would you do?
That's real.
He's like, I don't know. I guess
Wipe it off.
just wipe it off and walk away. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, the reality is we're so blessed that we live in America.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to worry about being imprisoned or beaten or, you know, anything like that. Like, we're not in hiding, having to like
Yeah.
go out and share the gospel in secret. Like, we live in a country. I mean, I've been rejected many times. Most of the time, if people, you can tell people aren't listening. They're just like ready to walk away.
Yep.
So when you can just sense if people aren't into it. So I just try to do like a quicker version, and they're like, "Yeah, no, I'm good," or they'll literally just walk away, or they just say, "Yeah, I'm in brokenness." I'm like, "Where do you want to be?" I don't know. I really got to go. I don't care. I mean, it's not like this horrible experience. You're just sharing information. It's on them if they want to receive it or not. We just work with the people who do and not worry about the ones who don't. So it's not, I haven't had any like terrifying situations. One time we were downtown. This wasn't with youth. This was with some other ministry we were working with, and I was sharing the gospel, and there was this guy, and he was pretty like scary. I see him downtown a lot, and he wears like weird things, and he's like spiritual, but I don't know how to explain him. And so I was sharing the gospel with some ladies downtown, like homeless ladies, and he kept just yelling and like he's like laughing and just like weird kind of like demonic type stuff of like he knew what I was doing and trying to be distracting and trying to be, and I was just like, just ignore him. I mean, he didn't do anything like scary. It was almost like I was like, thank you, Lord. Like, he didn't come close enough. He was like a safe distance away, but it was like he was just trying to be annoying and distracting from there. But he didn't like come over or try to stop anything. So
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. So yeah, sorry, no fun fun, scary
Rejection
stories.
is not
Rejection is not
But-
fun, but it's not.
It's
that
apparently
scary.
not as
I
bad
think-
as you think it
I
would
think
be.
Yeah.
I think part of it though is like, and I've heard this language of like they're not rejecting you,
Exactly.
like they're rejecting Jesus, and at
Yes.
the end of the day, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force that horse to drink
Exactly.
the water. And so it's like part of it is like stepping out of your comfort zone and saying, okay, like, and remembering that like, hey, they're not rejecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's people that have gone through a lot worse. There's people that have like died for the gospel, you know, we call them martyrs. And like, and so like it's like allowing the Holy Spirit to like give you that like strength, that peace, and just say, okay, hey, like I'm doing this for the Lord so that more people can know the Lord. And so if I get rejected, hey, that's not on me.
Yeah. It's not that
I do have a riff off of this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, get it going.
So I believe that gospel sharing should lead to discipleship.
Yes.
And that's what Collision
Yes.
believes.
Yes.
I would say that over the years, it has been a fight to stay encouraged in the Lord because so many people don't get into discipleship.
Yeah.
They'll receive the message, the messenger, but they will not take the mission serious.
That's a bar.
And that part has been one of the biggest challenges for me to stay encouraged in the Lord. Like I have to learn how to strengthen myself in the Lord because I do not understand why so many don't take discipleship serious. I had a guy, I was doing YMCA Collision for years, 2 years, years. I did it for 2 years.
It is plural.
And he saw my, he saw the ministry, he saw the ministry growing. And students were getting saved. D Rose, you're out there. Saw you following Terrence Williams recently. Let's go. And 5 guys, we had disciple making groups going. And so this one front desk staff was like, hey, like I see what's happening. Like, will you teach me like what you do? He lasted 2 days and he was just like texting me. He's like, I'm not interested anymore in this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you to like, tell me what you thought about this Bible verse.
Yeah.
Like not a complicated.
Not a
Yeah.
complicated like discipleship start.
Yeah.
And anyways, so again, the people will receive the messenger, they'll receive the message, but the mission of understanding the cross, taking on your cross, taking on that discipleship lifestyle, and really like starting to look outwards to others. That's a hard thing for people to get down with.
Yeah. I would even say like once you build up the courage to like share the gospel, which is evangelism, right? That's easy.
Oh,
Easy.
Easy. That's like on like I don't want to say that this is like surface level, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Once you get it there, but like discipleship,
That's
the long game.
that's a long game.
Yeah.
That's messy. That's like you're like
walking with somebody.
you're
and-
walking
Yeah.
with somebody. You're getting messy. They're learning your flaws. You're learning their flaws,
Yeah.
and it's like I think sometimes we live in, whether it's like the Christian culture or whatever kind of culture, where it's like evangelism, where jumping on the stage and sharing the gospel and doing this and that, and it's like sometimes we over glorify that, but we don't glorify the actual process of discipleship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where like, yes, like things can happen, like with you, like you heard the gospel from a stage, and then it's like, okay, now what?
How do I be a believer?
Like, how do I
what does
be?
that
And,
look like?
and
Yeah.
there's so many believers
Like, I
that
want
are
to.
out there that are trying to do it on their own, and then they're not learning how to share the gospel, or they're not learning how to pray, or they're not learning how to actually evangelize or like take it personally because they're learning it on their own. And so it's like, that's why I think like discipleship is just as important as, you can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
Well, and I think, I shared my phone earlier, and what that relationship is right now is, I shared the 3 circles with him. He did not say, I want to be a follower of Jesus. I'm saying yes to Jesus right now.
Yeah.
He said, I'm like interested in learning more.
Yes.
And so we disciple and hope for salvation.
Yeah.
We don't wait for people to get saved and then start
Yeah.
discipling them.
Yes.
So discipleship happens current, post, like
Yep.
that is
It's a lifelong.
It's everyone
Yeah.
is being discipled by someone
Or
and something.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's just the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've seen so many times where people have said yes to Jesus, like, yep, I want to follow him. And as soon as you start getting into discipleship, it dies off. It's like, oh, I have to actually like change this thing, or like God's asking me to do this. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Or I have to, you want me to share? No.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
And like, even like with that too, it's not out of like, hey, we're not doing this out of like a religious spirit or anything. It's just like, this is like, hey, this is what the Lord is calling us to do.
Yeah.
Like, all believers are called to do this. And so I think sometimes we get caught up in like, hey, let's just go to church. Let's just go to Bible study. Let's just do this, do that. And it's like, no, it's like, hey, we're called to go out into the world, go out like to spaces, to evangelize, to disciple, and to grow in our faith and help others grow in their faith.
Yeah. I had one girl I was discipling, and we got to the point where I was like, okay, well, next step is, first step of obedience. God said we should be baptized, and she just wouldn't do it. And like after that, she was just like, yeah, I'm done. And I'm like, I like couldn't understand. Like, it's not hard. It's not like I'm asking you to go dig a hole, or it was just like, this is first step of obedience, and she just could not and wouldn't do it. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. That's your choice, and I'm here. If you want to keep reading scripture together, you want to keep, learning more about who Jesus is. And she just, no, like, awesome.
It reminds me of the parable of the weeds, or the sower of the seeds, where
they sprout up really fast.
Yeah, some seeds are scattered among the rocks and they don't grow. You might need to help me do this. And then some are planted among the weeds, but the weeds, which represent the world, choke them out.
Yep.
And then only those that are planted in good soil produce fruit.
And sometimes we can't tell where they're planted because we have like all the good intentions, and they may be just saying yes because this is something new that they want to try to see where they're at. And so it's like, we can't see where they're planted, but it's like our job to just like, okay, hey, I'm still going to bring it to you.
And one of the things I've learned and still learning is don't judge.
Yeah.
Because I think people can look at people and be like, that's a weedy soil right there.
Yeah.
I ain't planting on that because that person's, got X, Y, and Z on the exterior. And surely that's hard ground, or it's weedy ground, or it's, something about them. And so we will tell ourselves that's a waste of time. And I would just say that's a lie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lie. So don't judge what you see on the outside.
Yep.
Because you won't share the gospel with many who actually have good soil.
Hearts.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Like, you hear stories all the time of like, man, this person shared the gospel with me, and then that night I was thinking about committing, like doing unaliving myself. Thank you. I was trying to think of the YouTube way to say that, and that by sharing the gospel, like, saved my life. And so it's like, we can look at like, even like, I'll take me for example. Like, you look at me in the streets, you're like, oh man, that dude's heavily tatted, super intimidating. And should I go up and share the gospel with him? Like, and it's like, and then you find out, oh, like this guy loves Jesus. This guy loves the Lord. Like, you know, and so like, it's like never judge a book by its cover, because you never know what they're walking through or walking in or even about to walk into. So
before we wrap up, do you guys have any stories that are burning on your heart to share?
Let's end on a
Any
good
final
note.
stories?
Yeah.
Trying to think of one. So just recently, because they're not like amazing stories, but they're stories.
Yeah.
So recently I've been telling my husband Marcus, like, as a staff, we've been challenging each other to share the gospel more. And I'm like, I have surrounded myself with Christians.
Yep.
Like, I work with Christians. I go to church. My family's all, my immediate family's all Christians. Like, I'm not ever around non-Christians anymore unless I purposely go out and do something. And so just recently been feeling challenged, and I'm like, you need to like hold me accountable to going, or when we're in a place, like, okay, here we are, And so we were out eating with some friends of ours, and I had already kind of felt like I was supposed to share with the waitress, and he's like, you need to share with this waitress. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And just kind of trying to find a good time because she was kind of busy. Sorry. So I was just like, I don't know when I don't want to inconvenience her because she is working, And so then right before we left, I just was like, okay, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to go find her and share with her. So went over and I was like, hey, this is going to sound weird, but I just really felt like I need to share something with you. And she's like, yeah, what do you need to tell me? And I just said, have you ever heard this recircle? She said, no, I asked her name and stuff. And so I shared with her, and she goes, that's so crazy. She goes, I literally just gave my life to Christ like a couple weeks ago. Wow. And I just moved here. I'm living with my aunt, and she, I'm going to her church, and she's like, God's like completely changed my life. And I was just like, that is awesome.
Let's
and
go.
So I was like so excited for her. And I was like, well, this is a tool that I use to share the gospel, and then I was like telling her it's on YouTube and you can use it. And she's like, that was really cool because it's just really clear. And I was like, yeah. Yay. So that was fun. And then also we have a mailman that has been coming in here forever and just so quiet. So like wouldn't talk. We'd all be like, hi. And he's just like, And I'm like, I'm supposed to share the gospel with this guy. Like, I know it. And for weeks, I didn't do it. And I didn't do it. And I didn't do it because I was just like, I don't know. Because he doesn't even respond.
Hustles.
Yeah, like he's like in and out. And he doesn't even respond to like, hi. So I'm just like, I don't know how to like engage him. So finally did it. What was it, like a couple months ago?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like a completely different person now. Like he comes in, he's so happy. He grew up Catholic. So we talked a little bit. He's not like ready to follow Jesus, but we're just still planting seeds and like, loving him where he's at. And it's been fun to see that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Gordon?
These are kind of parting words, basically, right?
Parting words, parting story.
Yeah. I'm glad that CG went the route she went because as a adult staff, we've been encouraging each other and challenging each other like we challenge students to share the gospel with 12 peers over the course of a school year and disciple the ones that say they are interested in learning more about Jesus. We've been encouraging our staff to do that. And one of the ways that I have done that, in addition to sharing the gospel with Shaq at Walmart, when we and Damien, who I showed you, and others, I ask Christians if they would share the 3 circles with someone during that like challenge week. So I have that ongoing effort now. Whenever we challenge each other as a staff, it's a challenge week. That's what I do. And so I've had some fascinating conversations. One believer, that I'm not going to say his name, but he's like, well, why the 3 circles? Like, really? And I'm like, what are you going to use?
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Yep.
Like, I'm challenging you to share the gospel.
Yep.
And you're open to the idea, but then your immediate pushback is like the 3 circles is childish or it's impersonal.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, that's fine if that's your immediate pushback to doing it. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And the crickets are just present.
Yeah.
And so to this day, I do not think this individual has shared the gospel. And this is months and months of discipling this one.
Yeah.
And he asked me to disciple him.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing the
Yeah.
The curriculum.
no. I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any simpler.
Yeah.
And if you tell me what you're gonna say, like, I'm not gonna say that's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
unless it's wrong.
Yeah.
But so that's a parting story is, there are many ways to share the gospel.
Yep.
I think that there are, the 59-minute sermons. There's the Ray Comfort model. There's Evangelism Explosion. There's FCA's bracelet. There's Dare to Share.
2 ways to live. That's on my arm.
2 ways to live. Yeah, 2
Yeah.
kingdoms.
Jesus at the door.
Jesus
Yeah.
at the door.
There's many
So
disciple.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many gospel tools that you can
Yes.
use. Yeah.
Yep.
All that being said, I do think the 3 circles is the way to go. The 3 circles were designed by a group that saw millions of South Asian tribal peoples and city peoples come to Jesus from somewhere kind of in the 80s to like the late 2000s. By late 2000s, I mean like 2009. So there was like a 30-year stretch there. And so, why use the 3 circles? Because it has arguably the most evidence
Track record.
of it working.
Yes.
And
A
so
good
you can
track record.
you can just type in Curtis Sargent in ChatGPT, how many people have been followed Jesus, and it's like millions and millions. I think considerably more than Billy Graham by like millions.
Yeah.
So that's why we use it, and that's why. And I wouldn't even say that's why I use it. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple.
And for those who might say it's not deep enough. Okay. Yes. There is more to say about the gospel. That's why there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's why there's the epistles. So it's not to exclude the Bible. It's to have a conversation with people and really help them understand where they're at. And that's actually the point of the tool. Equally to briefly explaining the good news of the gospel.
Because the goal is discipleship.
The goal is discipleship.
Where are you at? Do you want to know more about this?
Yeah.
Yes. Then let's get in the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all this to say, you guys, listeners, you can do it.
Woo.
If rejection,
Yes, you
is the
can.
worst thing we're facing, it's apparently actually not that
It's not that
soul
scary.
crushing. These people
No.
are still here today with us.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
We still breathing.
We're still
Practice
breathing.
with people that you practice with your family first.
Yeah.
Until you feel comfortable and
Yep.
confident.
Keep
It's-
getting out there. Keep trying. Keep texting somebody
Yeah,
the
just
video,
send them the
like
video.
low pressure ways to share the gospel.
It's
And
simple.
also, if you're totally uncertain of where to start with, I've actually never followed up with somebody I've shared the gospel with and asked them to step into discipleship with me. Our next series is going to be dedicated to entirely that, how you guys can be equipped in practical
Let's go.
discipleship tools and what that even looks like. So
Yes.
thank you guys so much for joining us
you.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, CG, for jumping on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Sweet
For having
stories,
us.
Yeah.
crazy stories.
Glory to God.
Yes. For y'all listeners out there, just remember, like, comment, subscribe, throw us a bone, interact with our content. Follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. So thank y'all so much for tuning into the Collision Podcast. This is your go-to resource for practical tools, powerful testimonies, and biblical insight on sharing the gospel and making disciples. Thank y'all so much. Peace,
Toodles.
love,
Bye.
blessings. We out.